This is episode 24 on wisdom. It's our 31-day journey through the book of Proverbs. Today is chapter 29. We're almost through the entire book of Proverbs, just a couple more chapters. Today, Solomon is giving us wisdom on how we can influence other people's lives through our communities and through relationships. That wisdom does have influence. Wisdom will impact other people's lives. Proverbs Chapter 29, verse 1, whoever remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. Being stiff-necked is being hard-headed, being stubborn. Someone's trying to correct you, but you're unwilling to change. You're unwilling to see a different viewpoint. It's not willing to see other ways or perspectives, that we get stuck in a hard-headed mindset. And God is constantly trying to teach us, show us different behaviors that we have, maybe a mindset that we have, maybe where we're stuck. And here's what's happening. We are actually sabotaging our growth and our ability to move forward in life when we are stiff-necked or not willing to be able to change our mindset or change our views. And eventually our stubbornness will place us in unfortunate situations that will leave us in a place of heartache. In verses 2, 7, 8, and 16, we see how wisdom can impact communities and relationships. Verse 2, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice, and when the wicked rule, the people groan. In verse 7, the righteous care about justice for the poor, but the wicked have no such concern. Verse 8, mockers stir up a city, but the wise turn away anger. In verse 16, when the wicked thrive, so does sin, but the righteous will see their downfall. That we see that we are responsible to what we are contributing to our relationships and to our communities. It is foolish to live in wickedness and living without restraint and no discipline in our lives. That stirring up strife, gossip, living in anger, looking for things to be angry about, will impact our relationships and will impact our communities. And again, God has called us to be peacemakers, that we are supposed to bring unity and encouragement and hope to people and to our communities. We cannot improve our communities or relationships if we're always looking for the negative, always pointing out what's wrong and not doing something to bring solutions. It's been said many times that you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. Verses 11 and 22 give us wisdom on anger. Verse 11, fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in their end. Verse 22, an angry person stirs up conflict, and a hot-tempered person commits many sins. That when we don't control our anger, it will take over us. And when we allow our emotions to rage within us, we end up saying things that we will regret later on. We end up making decisions and choices that we're going to regret. And anger will cloud our judgment. Uncontrolled anger opens the door to sin. We will be tempted to resent people, say things that will hurt people, that will impact their lives in a negative way. In Ephesians chapter 4:26, Paul says, be angry, but do not sin. Anger is an emotion that should be used to prompt us to solve problems. That anger can provoke us to use the right kind of action that will have good, positive outcomes. The positive side of anger is that God gave us this emotion that can be used in the right way. A lot of times we will not take action or be motivated to solve problems until we're stirred within us. And anger should be controlled by the Holy Spirit to motivate us to bring resolution and to solve problems. But the end result should not be hurt, but the end result should always bring healing. It should bring positive fruit, positive outcomes in our relationships and to situations in our life. I want us to go back to verse 18 because it is a powerful wisdom principle that will absolutely change your life. And I pray that we never forget this. In verse 18, he says, where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. It is so important that we actually see God at work in our life. Even when things are going wrong, if all we can see is what is going wrong in our life, I'm telling you, this is going to impact you in a negative way. If all we see is our mess, our problems, our mistakes, where people have wronged us, and even our lack in our life, and we get fixated on only seeing that, it's going to paralyze you. It will drain our faith when all we see is what's going wrong in our life. And we will end up having no faith at all. And when there is no faith, we actually stumble in life. We are paralyzed. We're stuck in life. But being able to see what God is doing, man, it generates faith. It generates hope. It begins to allow you to see something that maybe in the natural, it doesn't appear to be there. But when you begin to see God's hand at work, even in your messiest and darkest situations, you begin to see with your spiritual eyes. Even in our worst seasons of our life, we must see God. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19, God said to his people, he says, guys, I want to do a new thing in your life. Stop thinking about the past. Stop thinking about what happened before. I want to do something brand new in your life. And then he asks the question. He says, can you not see it? It's like God saying, I'm already at work, even in this lack in your life. I'm already working and I'm doing something new. And he says, can you not open your eyes and see it? I think it's important for us that we, no matter what situation that we're in, that we stop for a moment and ask God, God, where are you moving? Surely you're moving even in the good and the bad of my life. Romans 8:28, God said, I work all things for good. Everything in your life, the good and the bad, I will work it for good to those who are called by God and love God and are called according to his purpose. I pray today that you can actually see God at work in your life. And I pray that this chapter 29, will actually help us to gain the wisdom for growth, instruction, correction, and to help us be a positive influence in our relationships and in our communities.